Last Wednesday, House Republicans passed a budget plan that raised the debt ceiling while lowering overall spending. But the Democrats refused to adjust to the new reality. President Biden still refuses to negotiate. With the debt ceiling deadline quickly approaching, how long will the president draw out this self-imposed stalemate? Joining me now to discuss this and more is Congresswoman Lisa McClain. She serves on the House Oversight and Accountability Committee, the House Budget Committee, the House Armed Services Committee, and the House Committee on Education and the Workforce. She represents the 9th Congressional District of Michigan. Congresswoman McClain, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
You serve on a lot of important committees. I'm sure you stay pretty busy. In fact, last week was a busy week just for the subject matters that you deal with. Let's start with the debt limit bill that the House passed. It addresses the issue of the debt ceiling, but it also reins in this out-of-control spending. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to pay our bills. Constitutionally, we are obligated to pay our bills, and we're doing that. But we're doing that, and we're changing the course of history right now. Government has a spending problem. We have got to get our spending under control, and that's exactly what we're doing. I find it very difficult to believe that there is not $1 that the Biden administration thinks that we can be more efficient on or more effective. We must run the government so efficiently that there's not $1 of savings or efficiency. I find that very hard to believe. So what we did is we put forth a plan, and a very good one at that protects Social Security, protects Medicare, Medicaid, right? But gets our spending in line. So some of the things that we decided to take away was the funding for 87,000 IRS agents. We don't need more agents to come spy on middle America. We can use those dollars elsewhere. This budget saves $4.8 trillion. We're going to claw back the unspent COVID money. COVID is over. And we're eliminating a lot of the wokeness in the past administration's budget, or I should say this current administration's budget, with all of the ESG funding. So I think we've made a start. We have a lot more to go, but it's at least a start that we can pay our bills and we can get our spending in our fiscal house in order.
So, Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, but what we've done here, what the Republicans have done, is they've said, all right, here's the spending of our federal government pre-COVID. We infused the economy with trillions of dollars of quote-unquote emergency spending because of COVID and the shutdowns and all this other stuff. And as you pointed out, COVID is over. But the spending levels are remaining the same under the Democrats. They want to continue to spend at these elevated levels. You're just saying, the Republicans are just saying, let's dial this back to a reasonable level. We'll allow for some growth, but we don't need to keep spending at these elevated levels.
Well, we can't. We just can't continue to do that and be successful. It's a recipe for disaster. And let's turn the clocks back to 22 for a moment. How horrible was it? I don't think it was that horrible. All we're doing is using the spending limits of 2022. I think that's a positive. And if you actually take a look at the 2022 spending limits, those spending limits are higher than projected back when Obama was in place. So we're not on this tighten our belt, everyone is going to take massive reductions. We're just cleaning it up.
Yeah. I mean, it's reasonable. I mean, we as you said, we can't keep spending at this level. Now, Senator Chris Coons of Delaware, who's often out doing the bidding for the Biden administration, likened this bill to hostage negotiations, that somehow the Republicans are responsible in saying that they're going to take down the economy by causing America to default. But it looks like this could be resolved overnight if the president would simply sit down and start having conversations with the House Speaker.
Well, you're right. Last I checked, we had three co-equal branches of government, and we put forth a budget. The president put forth a budget, and now it's time to negotiate. We don't live in a dictatorial society. We're not going to pass a clean debt ceiling. We've done our job. Now it's the president's job and the Democrats' job, quite frankly, to do theirs. If we truly care about the future of our children, we cannot continue to saddle our children and our grandchildren with our debt and our bad decisions. And that's exactly what the Democrats are doing right
Congresswoman McClain, I want to switch gears. You've been very outspoken on the fentanyl crisis
now. Yeah.
That we're facing as a nation. Over the weekend, Secretary Mayorkas was on NBC, and he said, look, hey, the Mexicans are great partners on this. They're helping us stem the flow of fentanyl coming across our borders. What do you say to that?
In what world does he live in? That's what I say to that. And I've never heard anyone be so out of touch with society. All you have to do is look at the facts. And I understand the facts aren't real easy to look at when you take a look at the number of deaths that fentanyl is causing because of the open border. I just got done in an oversight hearing on Chinese laundering money. And you may ask, well, what does Chinese laundering have to do with the Mexican border? It has everything to do with the Mexican border because the Mexicans cartels are money laundering the Chinese for the Chinese. They are in bed together. So the Chinese make the fentanyl, they ship it to Mexico, which the cartels ship through our open border. And yes, our border is open when millions of people come across. And then the cartels help the Chinese launder the money. So I would say to Secretary Mayorkas, exactly what world do you live in?
30 seconds left. What's the bottom line for China? Is this a part of a soft invasion of simply trying to take America down by flooding our streets with this deadly drug?
The short answer is yes. China is not our friend. They want to be a superpower, and they want to be a superpower at any cost. They are our enemy to be feared, and they are attacking us militarily, economically, which is what you see with the money laundering, and most importantly, educationally. And we have to understand that, and we have to work together to stop China.
I think you're right. They are a serious threat, and I don't think this administration is taking that threat seriously. Congresswoman McClain, always great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday.
All right, have a great day.